This episode is brought to you by the new D9 Business Directory. Shop Greek owned brands from a variety of categories. And if you are a Greek author or business owner, add your profile today at d9business.com. Honoring those trailblazers who preceded us is just as important as leaving a legacy for those who will follow us. Greekly Speaking is about highlighting Greeks today who are creating positive change for tomorrow. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Hi, welcome to Greekly Speaking. I'm Eric, and joining me for this episode is Miss LaWanda Lewis Burrell of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. LaWanda was initiated in the Epsilon Gamma Chapter of Zeta Phi Beta in 1996. She's a published author and an entrepreneur. One of her recent books is entitled Stand Up, Speak Up, Because Your Time is Up, Restoring Hope in the Time of Adversity. LaWanda, thank you so much for joining us here on Greekly Speaking. How are you doing today?
I'm well. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. I think we're all thawed out here in Dallas, and I'm looking forward to every ounce of sunshine. I have a
Oh, yes.
brand new appreciation for
Yes,
sunny days, and we're going to just keep rolling with it. It's 2021.
it's 2021. Yes, we have a whole new appreciation for sunny skies, and we're just so thankful that, we've thawed out and it's a brand new day.
A brand new day. I think that's the best t-shirt we could ever wear at this point. I love it. I was looking at just the title of your book and restoring hope in a time of adversity, and I think it resonates so well with all of the things that are happening in our community today. And I want to unpack all of that, but the format on Greekly Speaking, we have to know first who we're dealing with. Tell us a little bit about your Greek background. You were mentioning that you have a very significant anniversary coming up.
Pledged spring of 1996. Sounds pretty old. I pledged Epsilon Gamma Chapter, Stillman College. And today is very special to me because it's my 25th Zeta versary. And so I'm just so blessed and excited to be a part of such a prestigious organization. Zeta Phi Beta has blessed me tremendously throughout the years, and I'm just very, very grateful for the sisterhood.
That is awesome. So, did you have any Greek influences in your life coming up, or did you find out about Zeta in college?
Well, I actually was a Zeta Arcanet when I was in high school. It was actually my sister and I. And we were blessed to be raised with a community of Zetas and Sigmas. Most of our teachers and community leaders and church members were Zetas and Sigmas. So we grew up seeing nothing but blue and white. And I was, just so excited to be a part of the organization, and I couldn't wait to begin college so I could eventually pledge. But what struck me most with Zeta is just the love and the genuosity that I got from a lot of the ladies in the community. And that's why I'm so excited, just to be a part of this organization, and also to hopefully teach my daughters about Zeta Phi Beta sorority.
Well, it sounds like you're off to a good start at setting that example, and that's good. And for the record, you're talking about old. I'm fall 86, so you now can feel as young as you like. All right. So let's keep that in the perspective that it deserves.
Oh yeah,
So
you got me by 10 years, you got me. But
there
we're
you
still
go.
young at heart.
All day, every day. I
All
love it.
day. I didn't mention this, but my sister actually pledged me. She pledged
Whoa.
at University of Alabama. I think it was spring 92. I'm not really sure of that year, but she pledged a couple of years before me, and I attended Stillman College. And actually, when I attended, the Zeta that was on campus was graduating. And so that left no Zetas on campus. And so, God gave me the courage, and I just, stepped out on faith. I told my sister I wanted to pledge. If I had to do it alone, I was going to do it alone. and she was 100% behind me, and her sorority sisters at the University of Alabama pledged me.
Wow. Okay, so your sister was 100% behind you. Was she 100% in front of you in your face during that time, or we'll
That
talk.
part, yes, she
We'll
was.
we'll talk offline about how that actually went down. Um, back in that era, man.
Oh
I
yeah.
love hearing these stories. So
Oh yeah.
somewhat of a legacy going on, and that's always awesome. So how many other ladies were online with you?
No, it was just
Oh,
me. I pledged
oh,
alone.
I pledged alone.
I pledged alone. And it's so funny because I have a chapter in the book, and it's dedicated to Zeta Phi Beta and Phi Beta Sigma. And I talk about my journey of pledging alone at a, predominantly Black university. It wasn't always peaches and cream.
You're just full of t-shirts, huh? I pledged alone. That's the second t-shirt we're going to go ahead and see if we can market. I like that. But that is awesome. So did they give you a line name? What was your line name?
Everlasting one.
Of course it was.
Yeah, everlasting one. Still have the t-shirt. Yeah, it was very challenging, but you know what? It gave me so much courage. And after I was able to accomplish that, nothing could stop me.
I love it. I love it. Everlasting one. So it sounds like Zeta's had a big impact on your life. I can
Yes.
tell. But the cool thing about being part of these youth groups, right? Whether it's
Hmm.
Sigma Beta Club or Arcanet or Kappa League or whatever,
Yeah.
is that you get that introduction to the concept of the brotherhood and the sisterhood first, right? And
Yes.
you kind of have an idea that the work starts after you get in, right?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. It's not just the parties and the glitz and glamour. It was a lot of community service. And that actually was what struck me in high school, just being able to have a heart to give back. And once I saw, how much the Zetas and the Sigmas both worked in the community, it was no doubt of, what my destiny would be with the organization.
No doubt. T-shirt number 3. All right. I love this. You are all right with me. You must be an author for real. You got
I
all the good catchphrases. And so, last question. We'll wrap this segment up. If you were to give some advice to someone considering going Greek, whether it's fraternity or sorority, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to just go with what's in their heart. Like I said, I love Zeta Phi Beta. I love Phi Beta Sigma. But to be honest, I think all of the Greek sororities and fraternities have, things that they should be celebrated upon. They have a plethora of things that they're doing for the community that, should always be celebrated. And it's just what's in your heart. If you have a legacy in your family, and you want to follow that legacy, by all means, do that. But you got to do what's right for you and follow your own dreams. And like with me, I played Zeta Phi Beta, and I did it alone, and it was hard for me, but it was something that I was very passionate about, something that I had dreamt about basically my whole life. And I just went for it. Once you're in these organizations, you're in there for life. So you want to make sure that whatever you choose, that it is for you and only for you.
Amen. Very well stated. I mean, that is what it is. You really have to do a self-assessment and introspective, if you will, first before you go
Yes.
out looking at the organization to join and kind of see, where you would actually fit in. So I appreciate you sharing that. So your book, I've checked out your website, and I love the cover of your book. And it just speaks of professionalism. And to me, being prepared for what lies ahead, right? It's time to
Right.
stand up and get up and do something. And I'm like, wow. And sometimes I think you can judge a book by its cover,
Right.
especially when it's a beautiful cover and
Oh,
it pulls
thank
you
you.
in and it engages you. So tell us about your organization and what
Okay.
prompted you to write the book.
Okay, well, I didn't, think that I would ever be an author. It wasn't something that I had as a vision. My background is in human resources, and I've had 15 years experience. I was hired as an HR director, and it was a dream job because it had my love of HR as well as it was in a school setting because I had previously was in an educator. Well, what happened was, you don't judge a book by its cover. Everything looked, fine at first. I was the only Black in the administration team. And I noticed that they had a lot of things that they were doing that were unethical. I worked there for a couple of years and I didn't say anything for the first year or so. Finally, when I got the courage to, speak with my superiors about some things that I saw that, policies and procedures that should be tweaked a little bit, they gave me pushback. It started sort of jeopardizing my own job and my own, beliefs. And I spoke up again, and that's when the harassment started, and I got terminated. Eventually, I got terminated. This devastated me because, like I said, in my mind, it was my dream job. I prayed to God and asked Him to just reveal my purpose, just to show me what it is I'm supposed to be doing. Because for 15 years, I worked in HR. I was in the closet one day home alone. I pulled a box down and out fell a journal that I had written 5 years prior. I started reading that journal and got my laptop out. And within 2 weeks, I had a book of over 250 pages. That was God showing me that my
Wow.
purpose is to become an author, to tell my truth. I went back in the closet, and because I had hatred in my heart for a while because of the things that I had endured, I went back in the closet, asked God to forgive the ones that had mistreated me. I felt like I was in bondage because I had that, hatred in my heart. Once I laid it down and just basically said, God, forgive them, it hurts, but, I want to move forward. That next week, I got a book contract from Christian Faith Publishing for my book, Stand Up, Speak Up, because your time's up.
This is deep on so many levels, but let's start with the fact that first, if your HR director is having HR issues, that
Uh-huh.
might not be the best place to be. Just a
Exactly.
wild guess. Just a
Uh-huh.
wild
Exactly.
guess. And
Yeah.
and I really believe that you have to go through some things to fully appreciate where you end up, right? And you
Exactly.
have to have something that fuels that passion, right?
Hmm.
And just hats off to you for going through that whole emotional process. You should be angry at what you should be angry at. I'm a firm
Right.
believer in that. Otherwise, we'd all be dealing with conditions from 400 years ago. And I love it. Stand up, speak up. I mean, it is so poignant because when you're silent, when you don't say things,
Right.
that's how they perpetuate forever, right? And the
Right.
courage, how did you get the courage? I mean, to just say, look, something's got to get fixed. Something's
Right.
not right.
You know what? It took a while. Like I said, it took about a year. And I was going back and forth in my head. I was praying to God, because a part of me was like, if I say something, then, I'm gonna lose my job. And, my husband is working, but I gotta be the helpmate. And so a part of me didn't want to speak up, but then my belief is so strong that I could not allow myself to just continue to be a part of something that was just, it was demeaning, and it was hurtful to some of the employees that didn't really have knowledge of what was going on. And every day that I sat in that office and I was there physically, I was a part of the conniving and the vindictive ways. So I had to be the bigger person, and I had to say, you know what, I'm not going to deal with this. If it means losing my job, then that's what's going to happen. But just like he provided this job, he's going to provide another one. And when one door closed, God always opens another one, and it's always better than the one before. And I'm a witness. I'm living my best life now, stress free. God is everything to me, and He has so many times proven to me that He's always going to look out for me and take care of me.
Who is it that you really hope would read your book?
You know what? I think my book is for anyone that has life challenges, anyone that basically anyone that has breath in their body, to be honest with you, because the book is not actually about the human resources part of the book. Is just a journey of life. It deals with things
Mhm.
that is relatable to everyone, as far as like forgiveness. We all have to have a heart of forgiveness. It deals with things like finding true love. It deals with death, and that's something that a lot of us have, especially now, have experienced within our families and friendships. It also deals with childhood bullying, something that I dealt with early on in life, where I had to learn how to speak up for myself. It deals with cherishing marriages. It deals with family. So it's a host of things that we all, men and women, can relate to in this book. It's wonderful, true stories. All of the stories are true. They're inspiring. They're heartfelt. And, a few of them, I put a little humor in there because, life should not be taken so serious. We need to take the time sometimes and just laugh and just enjoy life and not take things to heart. It's a good book for right now, especially with us going through, so much devastation. It's just a breath of fresh air. And I think it would be something that anyone could enjoy, no matter what background you're from, or anything of that sort. You will be able to get something out of this book. It's an overall message of hope, faith, forgiveness, and love.
And what would you say is one thing that you learned going through the process of writing the book?
I would say just basically just step out on faith. To be honest with you, it was hard for me because I've always been open to change, but this was a career change for me in my 40s. And one thing I want to just point out, you never know where God is going to take you in life. And it doesn't matter if you're in your 20s and your 40s. In my mind, HR was going to be my bread and butter for life. It was going to be where I was going to retire from. But our plans are not God's plans. And we have to be open-minded and understand that, sometimes a letdown is him redirecting us to where he wants us to go. And that's what I understood when I started writing. The words just flowed out of me, like when it's not hard, when it just flows and it's an easy process, that it's coming from God. My husband's like, you know what, you need to let people read that book. That, it's a good book. It's going to, be a message of encouragement. You need to get it out there. And after 9 months, that's when I submitted it to Christian Faith Publishing. And within 2 days, they were like, you know what, we love the book. We want to offer your contract.
Where can we find the book?
The book is available at Walmart. It was just picked up at Walmart last year. It's also available at Amazon. You can go on Barnes and Noble's website, as well as Books A Million. And then they also have it at Lifeway Christian stores. You can also go to www.sosweetauthor.com and you can purchase a copy on my website, and it'll be a signed copy with a personal message from me.
I really love that domain name. So it's everything all in one. I mean, any blue and white fraternity or sorority member will know exactly what that is. That is so
Exactly.
cool because it says that you're not ashamed to wrap who you are into your work. And I love
Yes.
that. So for anyone that may want to get in touch with you for speaking engagements, how would they get in contact with you directly?
Well, recently, my husband and I just started our own business. We had anticipated that it was going to start this spring, but actually, we were able to get approved for a LLC. And our business is a book writing, narrating, and also publishing service. Our email is Susu Entertainment LLC at gmail.com. If you want to reach me on social media, you can go to, for Instagram, is at Wanda Vision 2020. Also for Facebook is at LaWanda Lewis Burrell. And I also have a Twitter account. It's at LaWanda Lewis Boo, BU 2, the number 2.
Well, there you have it, folks. She's all over social media. I'm glad to hear that you're launching that publishing company so you can be in a position to help those up and coming authors. And we can't
Yes.
wait to hear all the good works that come from that collaboration. And also, congratulations to you. You're a recent member of the D9 Business Directory, which is where we connected.
Yes.
So,
Thank
folks,
you.
check that out so you can see a list of all these great D9 entrepreneurs, such as Miss Wanda. And
Thank
hey,
you.
what's next for you?
Well, what's next for me besides writing more books and the business? I recently, last year, collaborated with a production company in Atlanta, Georgia, and they're interested in turning the book Stand Up, Speak Up Because Your Time's Up into a movie. So we are in talks right now. We're getting ready to do the screenplay, and hopefully we'll have a movie by the end of 2021.
You know, that is the best way to end a podcast session that I've ever seen. Congratulations. I
Thank
love
you.
it. I love it. So, hey, look, if there is anything we can do here to help promote any of the positive things you have going on, just let us know.
Thank you so
We're
much.
more than happy to do that. We wish you the best of success in the future. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.